Are you selling people bogus tickets?
Just hours ago, 6 arrest warrants went out for the woman you're seeing here, and you're about to learn why.
You know, so many people in this town scour websites to find concert tickets. So when folks came to me saying they got ripped off big time by a woman at this recent George Strait concert, we tracked her down. And she had some tickets to sell us too. She just didn't know our cameras were rolling. And tonight, police say she needs to be taken off the streets. I'm Jeremy. Angela, nice to meet you. It's Wednesday, April 30th, and Angela Formica is ready to sell her latest customer some tickets.
These are actual tickets?
She just didn't realize who she was talking to or who the Channel 4i team's been talking to.
We were both just devastated.
You see, Sam and Diane Wadsworth of Mount Juliet and Maggie Combs and Braden Strauss of Nashville both bought more than $500 worth of tickets from Formica through Craigslist. They met Formica outside the Ryman, paid cash, and got excited to see the only Nashville concert on the George Strait Farewell Tour. But when they showed up at Bridgestone Arena, they were told their tickets were no good.
And I said, well, what do we do? And she says, well, I guess you just have to go home.
I cried. I cried.
Turns out they were sold copies of actual tickets. The problem, they looked authentic. The couples filed police reports and went from sad to angry.
Probably we're not going to get our money back, but if we could just get this little gal off the street so she doesn't do this to anybody else.
These are actual tickets.
So Maggie Combs worked with the Channel 4i team to go once more on Craigslist and arrange a sale with Formica to buy One Direction tickets. All Formica knew is she was meeting some 40-year-old guy named Jeremy, who apparently was a big fan of One Direction. How much do you want for these?
$530 for both of them.
For $530, I was told all I had to do was show up. My tickets would be scanned, and I could see One Direction in all their glory. But we knew what happened to all these people. These don't look like actual tickets, they look like copies.
Well, they are the actual tickets. Yeah, these are the tickets.
At that point, it was time to come clean. My name is Jeremy. I'm Jeremy Finley, and I'm with Channel 4's investigative unit. And we've been approached by a number of people that told us that you've been selling them bogus tickets.
Yeah.
I need to ask you about that.
Okay. Well, I gotta go.
These people are out of a lot of money. Are these bogus tickets?
No, they're not.
Well, what about the other tickets that the people say that you sold them that were bogus?
I mean, I don't know what to say.
When they showed up at the concert, they couldn't get in.
It's at your own risk.
Did you hear that? Listen again to what she said.
It's at your own risk.
It's at your own risk?
That's her.
That's her.
And you can imagine how these couples felt when we showed them our video, and how Formica said they bought the tickets at their own risk.
And she didn't deny it at all.
I would like to go up to her and just say, you know, how do you sleep at night? Or does your mama know what you're doing?
I do think you should probably answer our questions. Formica didn't stick around to let us verify if her tickets were any good. She covered up her face with those tickets and headed back downtown.
Right now, you were just caught by the news. There's going to come a time when you're going to be caught by law enforcement, and it's going to be a bigger price to pay. You might get caught by Jeremy. You might get caught by the police.
Angela Formica now faces 6 criminal charges, 3 counts of felony criminal simulation and 3 counts of misdemeanor thefts. Some of her former customers identified her in police lineups just today, and police are searching for her now.
How dare her? And then walk off knowing that she took $325 out of my kid's pile.
Tonight, a courtroom confrontation. The woman exposed by the Channel 4i team accused of selling fraudulent concert tickets was in court, and so were her customers. Her customers are not only pointing the finger at her, but also her husband, who showed up in court too. One customer says he's out more than just money because Angela Formica's not the only one who went to jail over this.
Your Honor.
There are 2 things that Angela Formica did in court today that infuriated her customers. First, there was this big grin. Then there was the blown kiss to the man sitting in the back row, her husband, Ryan.
And seeing her prancing there just then all happy and blowing kisses, and it just made me very angry.
angry enough to have some harsh words for Formica's husband, who has not been arrested or charged.
That's him.
But you see, several of the customers say he was there when the bogus tickets were sold, even provided a license to prove he could sell things downtown. Only problem, it expired last year, long before the tickets were sold.
It's how dare her. And then walk off knowing that she took $325 out of my kid's pile.
And the Channel 4i team had some questions for him too.
And how did all of these people get tickets, this exact same tickets that your wife sold them?
Okay, my wife did sell some bad tickets, but I'm saying there's other people involved in this.
Did you catch that?
My wife did sell some bad tickets.
We're going to get back to that in just a minute, because even though what happened to all these people is bad, it doesn't compare to what happened to Gary Sims.
I'm just astounded and dumbfounded that it's got to this point.
Sims bought the same ticket to the George Strait farewell concert that several of the others bought, same order number, same seat. But when he couldn't go, he sold it to a Kentucky woman. And when that woman showed up at the concert and couldn't get in, she filed charges against Sims for theft by deception. That's when deputies showed up at Sims' door last week.
I went to jail.
You heard right. Sims spent 2 nights behind bars before making bond. Yesterday, he took a copy of our story to the judge.
They dropped the charges.
I thought Ryan Formica should know.
He was then arrested for selling bad tickets. He spent 2 days in jail. This is a huge mess.
Yeah, I know.
What do you say to these people? They're obviously victims.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
But back to Ryan's alleged role in all this. In fact, one of the customers says he even made Ryan and Angela sign this document swearing to refund the tickets if they were no good.
And what was she doing? What was she selling?
Concert tickets, I don't know.
But you know that they're fraudulent.
No, I don't.
You just admitted that they were
I don't know
fraudulent.
anything about tickets.
That laughter, it's from the customers.
Okay, yeah, I told you before. Obviously, they're fraudulent, yeah.
My biggest thing is just stop doing it, please. Please stop doing it. Have your wife stop doing it.
So you were using the public library as your little criminal office, right?
Yes.
The woman exposed by the Channel 4i team for selling bogus concert tickets is grilled by the DA and asked for forgiveness from her victims.
Well, nobody expected Formica to take the stand at her own sentencing. She says she had something to say and came face to face with her former customers.
I also want to thank you for holding me accountable for my actions.
A quiet admission from a woman who just 7 months ago didn't have much to say to the Channel 4i team.
Well, what about the other tickets that the people say that you sold them that were bogus?
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Today, Formica changed her tune, coming clean about what the I-Team exposed in May, how she made copies of tickets to some of the biggest concerts in town and sold them to unsuspecting customers, and she made the copies at the library downtown.
So you were using the public library as your little criminal office, right?
Yes.
And some of the people who bought the tickets were front and center today to hear her say she's sorry.
I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time and energy. I know I disappointed a lot of people.
Formica says she's been addicted to pain pills for years and made the fake tickets to feed her habit.
The past 6 years have just felt like this has been the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
I thought that apology was quite phony.
Sam Wadsworth was among her former customers, and frankly, he's okay with the fact that she's been in jail for the last 7 months.
I hope that she has learned a lesson.
But after listening to Formica, customer Maggie Combs, who paid $300 to see the final Nashville concert for George Strait and then wasn't even able to get in the door, had this to say.
I feel like if she and her husband can take this as a stepping stone into a better life for themselves, it was $300 well spent.
Formica was sentenced today to drug court. That's a jail program where she will undergo intensive drug rehab while in a confined setting.